Alright guys, welcome back, and we are now going to do a base coat on this model, on this Terminator, okay? Now, as I mentioned before, we are going to base this coat, this model a dark, probably a black. That way I can show you how you can do highlighting and where do you put the highlights on a model like this, right? I mean, black is black, but yeah, really highlighting, if you think about it, is just the reflection of light and how the model, any model, whether it's real or inanimate as this, how it reflects light and how it's perceived. So that's what we're going to do. But first we need to base coat this sucker. So we're going to go ahead and start right now. We need to get our black. Okay. So first what we're going to do is I use Vallejo Game Air Black. Now for some reason that stuff dries out super fast. Okay, so I'm definitely going to add a couple, well, maybe a little too much water there. A couple of drops of water, okay, before I mix in the black. And I'm going to put a liberal amount of the paint. Okay, stir it up really good. And we're going to paint the section, make sure it's good, and it looks really good. It's not see, it's not running. Remember, like our last lesson, you know, we don't want runs like that. We want it to be nice coat, right? So I think we're good. I think we have the good consistency. Let's put our cap back on so we won't dry our paint, and let's get to base coating this Termy. Now, as you can see, I'm doing more of a circular motion because I want to be able to cover as much of this model as possible, right? I want it completely black. Now, here's the thing. If I stayed in one spot and kept on spraying, then we'd have a lot of runoff because the paint would start to accumulate and eventually it will start to drip. And we don't want that. You want an even coat. So it's good to rotate the model as you're painting it. You can see here, trying to get as much of it, everything's covered as possible to get a good coverage. Now I'm giving some short blasts because I'm trying to get that black paint in between the cracks and crevices. And sometimes the only way you can do that is by blasting it right in there. Okay. All right, put another layer. As you can see, it's drying really fast, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want a heavy coat of product and then it takes forever to dry, right? Now, as you can see, that's a really good even coat. I can see a little bit of white there, but what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this to dry, and we'll come back and put another coat. Remember, like I said, you don't want your paint to chip. But even worse, you don't want your paint to chip to the plastic. You want to chip it, if it does chip, it should chip to the primer, okay? All right, so be right back. Let's let this dry out and we'll do it again. All right guys, we are back, and here is our model, and it's fully dry. So we're gonna go ahead and cover that little area. You can see a little bit of white there. We want it completely covered, so. Make sure we get a good coating all the way around, guys. So, and it doesn't hurt to put a couple layers. Remember, these things are prone to chip if you do not paint them properly and give it a good coat. Okay, that looks good. All right, that is our base coat, and the next step is I'm going to show you how to do the highlight. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we're back, and now I'm going to show you how I do my highlights. Now, this is a, you can see, black model. The base coat is completely black. Now, question has been posed to me, how do you know where, where to put highlights? Okay, it's a good question. Now, here's the thing. The paint that I added on here is just basic Vallejo Game Air black. But as you can see, if I turn this model around, depending on where my lighting, now you can see where my light source is coming from. It's actually coming from that direction, okay? That way. You can see the reflection. See that? So it really depends on where the lighting is. Now you have to kind of guess that the lighting, the source should be the sun or some other, stellar object. As you can see, we're looking to put highlight here, highlight on the hood, a little highlight there, and maybe on the back. And we're going to put some on the power fist, and that way, it'll gleam. So that's what we're going to do. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. Now, what I did was I went ahead and added white, just regular, pure white, and thinned it out. And I already tested it out, make sure it's still good, so it doesn't run. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. See if I can do this while I'm videoing. There we go. Now, it's okay if you get a little too much. You can always go back with the black and tone it back down. But basically what we're doing is we are creating the highlights for this model. Go. And there you go. As you can see, it's not too bad. And if you really pay close attention, you can actually see the outline of the actual highlights from my lamp. And there you go, guys. That is pretty much all I do. Like I said, you can always go back with the black and tone it down some more. You can have it really bright. You can have it dim, dull. You can also change, make the highlights a different color. You can actually highlight with gray. I wanted to use white because this stands out better. You can actually see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I would have used gray. And my phone is being ridiculous. Anyway, guys, that is how you highlight. And then after that, you can go back and do edge highlighting, if you will, and they'll actually make the outlines of the model pop. But there you go. That is kind of how I do my highlighting. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do the helmet. There we are. There. And you can even see the helmet a lot better. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it and hope that's helpful. If If it is, then please leave some comments below, and stay tuned for the next tips and tricks and hacks. Take care, guys.